What's up, guys? It's been a year since I had the MPC Live. Now it's time for me to get my honest review coming up in this video. Let's get it.
MIDI clip.
What's up? It's the THEKINGOCAESAR bringing you unboxings, tutorials, and gear reviews just like this one. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hit that bell notification button like dance moves on TikTok.
Baby, come give me something on. Baby, come give me something on. Cause I can't stop loving since I got a taste of your love. Baby, come give me.
So today we're talking about the MPC Live, and we're going to talk about how it's been having this thing for a year, the good and the negatives, and right now we're going to go over the build quality. So for the build quality and cosmetics, the build quality is still amazing. Knobs still have the premium feel. The data wheel still feels great, and it still has that notch sound that it came with straight out the box. The touchscreen is still bright and vibrant. All touch functions seem to work really good. Since the day that I got this, I didn't put a screen protector on it, but I have no scratches on my screen, and that's even after being shoved in a backpack with other gear. So that's great to see. The screen is pretty robust. The pads still light up nicely. All pads, buttons, and knobs work great. Now, people were worried about the back of the MPC Live. They thought that it was kind of flimsy and stuff like that, but I can report after a year, everything back here is still tight, and everything that I use is still in great working condition, and like I said, still holding up pretty good. So the master outputs, the phono still working good. The SD card reader is great. The MIDI ports still work great. The MIDI data cable port is great, and the USBs work great. And I always have an external hard drive plugged into this thing. Pro tip: if you go on Amazon and get the double-sided adhesive Velcro, you can attach your hard drive to it so that you never have to detach it like this, if you can see that. Just a pro tip. Now, being that I got the limited edition gold version, I want to talk about the cosmetics of this too. The paint still looks great on it after a year. We only have discoloration on the edges, and I'll show a close-up of that, but for the most part, the paint still looks immaculate. Honestly, I expected the knobs to discolor before anything because of how much they're used, but they still almost look like how they did when they came out the box. And that makes me very happy that I purchased the gold version, because there's no chipping, there's no paint discoloration, and they still feel great, like I said. Now, let's get into what I love about the MPC Live. I love that it has a battery and that is portable. Now, I've made beats almost everywhere with this thing. The most places I make beats is at friends' houses. I made beats at BioLife while I'm donating and saving lives. I made beats at the park with my kids, and I've made beats at work on my break. So, like I said, it's easy to just take this thing, whip it out, and get to work on a beat right there and then. So that's the key selling point of this thing, and it's been working out very great. Very happy with that. I love that. I love that this thing has the ability to add an internal hard drive. I always have I have a dedicated external hard drive for this thing, but I really don't need it because I have a 1,000 terabyte or a 1 terabyte hard drive in this thing. So I really don't need any more space, but just having the extra is just extra, maybe a little bit of overkill. Plus it has the SD slot on the back, so you're never worried about running out of space or running out of room to put your beats. The touchscreen is still functional and is actually practical. Almost anything that you want to do, you can do from the touchscreen, and you don't have to use the physical buttons. Almost everything. It's not everything, but most of the stuff and the functions you can do with just using the touchscreen. So that makes it very functional. And being able to use the touchscreen will actually add to the lifespan of your physical buttons. So that's also a good thing. The MPC workflow period is next to none when it comes to sampling and creating music. Like, making the beat on this thing is super fast. Getting in here and chopping up samples is just super fast with the MPC Live. So I love the fact that you're able to do that, and that's kind of like the Akai or the MPC staple as far as what they're known for. And their sequencing is great. Like, I'm not worried about things being off, and if I want to go and change the timing and make it a little off, I can do that. But as far as actually programming, I'm not worried about nothing being off time. The sequencing is amazing. Exporting beats is great and fast on the MPC Live, and I like the fact that it allows you to export your beat as stems, or you can just export the whole beat. That makes it versatile when moving to other DAWs and doing stuff in production centers. So that's a great feature. I love the fact that you can still use this in controller mode and use your very powerful VST libraries. That's one of the things that attracted me to the new line of MPCs, because the first one I got, which I have here, is the Ren, and I'll show you a picture of that. But you know, being able to harness the power of the MPC but also use it in a controller standpoint where you can use your VST libraries is amazing. Now, the only thing that would make it better is if they allow you to use your powerful VSTs in standalone mode, which I have a feeling that's going to be coming in later models of the MPC. But if they do that, this would really make this thing the ultimate. But as it stands right now, using this in controller mode when I'm in the studio and actually putting together, you know, compositions with my VST libraries is great. And they do have ways that you can export or turn your VST stems in your projects in controller mode into audio files so that you can work on them when you're in standalone mode too. So they make it versatile where you can go back and forth, and I really love that about the MPCs. I love that Akai actually listens to the people that use their products. For the most part, all the updates that have came out have been great and have been packed full of new features, except for the exception of 2.7. It sucks. But yeah, all the other updates have came out. 2.6 was one of the best ones for me. Like, 2.6 came with a whole bunch of like new features and things that are actually useful for the MPC. So as long as Akai stays on this road where they're actually listening to their people, the MPCs are going to do nothing but improve, and the workflow is going to be that much more amazing. Okay, nothing comes without flaws, so now we're going to talk about the things that I do not like about the MPC Live, which isn't many, but they're worth noticing. I feel like mixing and song mode in the MPC could be better. Now, I've been looking at videos of the Akai Force, and I really like the arranger mode that they have in the unit. If they could some way integrate that into the MPC Live, I believe that that would make this unit that much greater. If they could take it and have an option to where if you were used to using song mode, you could, but if you were used to using DAWs like I'm used to, then you could switch between the arranger and song mode. That would be great. Now, they have allowed you to do this in controller mode for Ableton Live, because now you can use the MPC Live as an Ableton controller, which is stupid to me, but at the same time, like, they're showing that they have the capability to do that stuff with the MPCs, to have the arranger the way that we're used to seeing them on the DAW, especially with the Akai Force. They've already proven that they can do it. So now it's time for them to put that stuff in the MPC Live. Let's do it, Akai. Listen to what I'm saying. Put it in here. Now, the touchscreen on the Live is amazing, but sometimes I wish it had more physical buttons, like the Ren here. There are just some processes that you do that are way better if you have physical buttons. For instance, note repeat. I definitely need physical buttons to do note repeat, because it's kind of a nuisance to do it with the touchscreen on the MPC Live. So right here you can see that it has physical buttons, and I was able to use these buttons for note repeat, and that made it super easy to do note repeats. Having the physical knobs too is great, because each one of these knobs were tied to a pad, so it's easier to mix. But of course you're not going to be able to get that with the portability of this thing, so you lose out on some of that stuff. But this stuff is definitely having all these buttons definitely made it easier for me to navigate on the MPC RIM versus the MPC Live. Plug-in control. I wish that you can use the touchscreen on the MPC Live for things like the parametric EQ or wavetables. There are other DAWs that have control surfaces, like Logic has Logic Control for the iPad, where you can actually physically go in there and move the bands around with your fingers in the software. And that makes it better for people that are more visually like me, who don't want to just see you turning a knob and stuff. You want to be able to see that stuff visually. So being able to do that with the parametric EQ and wavetables will make this thing better. But the fact that we don't have that, and the MPC is known for its touchscreen, is kind of disappointing. So that's one of my negatives with that. So now that we've gone over the build quality and cosmetics, and we went over the stuff that I like and I don't like about the MPC Live, we're gonna get to my final thoughts. The MPC Live is not perfect, but if I had to do it again, I would buy it 1,000,000 times over. You just can't beat the processing with the battery, allowing you to take it anywhere, along with the raw power that it possesses inside the box in standalone mode. You just can't find anything else on the market that can do the things that the MPC Live can do. And really, it's the first of its kind. With the new MPC Live Mark II being rumored to be in the works, I don't know if you should wait for that or not, because it took a couple years for the Live and the MPC X to be produced after we found out about the concept, so you could be waiting for a while. But the one thing I can say, if you do choose to get the MPC Live, I truly believe that you will not be disappointed, and those are my final thoughts. So I hope you guys like this video. If you found value in it, please give me a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe and leave me a comment. What do you guys think about the MPC Live? How long have you had yours, and would you buy it again if you had the chance to? Like always, in the description there will be a link to this thing if you were trying to get your hands on it. I know some of you guys are still in the market, so I will provide a link for that in the description below. With that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. Please stay safe with the corona mess and all the stuff that's going on in the world. Please stay safe, stay blessed. Caesar is out. Peace.
A king has spoken.